Hello and welcome back to another Tasting Tuesday video. I know it's been quite a while. I think it's been over a year since my last post on the Tasting Tuesday channel. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I kind of drifted away from the liquors a little bit. Last summer, I took a couple months off of drinking. I found that with liquor, it's very easy to overdrink. Doesn't always hit you until you've had two or three, and they're really expensive too. So I really kind of cut them out for most of my drinks. I just have a beer now or a glass of wine. But I stumbled across the channel and I saw that we have 54 subscribers now, and I know I had 10 last year, mainly my friends and family. So I just cannot believe that there are 40-some people that have subscribed. I've seen the comments. I've seen the views go up. You guys love tequila. And so even though I'm not a huge spirit drinker as much anymore, I still want to bring you guys some reviews. And I figure once a week, have a drink with you guys, and I think we can have a good time. So I want to bring you guys some more value today. We're starting it off good. You guys love tequila, and this is one of the best tequilas. Casa Dragones. This is the ANEJO tequila. So again, aged more than a year. I have had this a couple times. I first had the Blanco. I think the Blanco comes in around $60 a bottle. I was very impressed with it. I think Oprah said it was her favorite tequila. It had a kind of a richness to it and an interesting viscosity that you don't always find in tequila. Felt very neutral, very balanced, didn't feel artificial. So I was really excited about that. And then this came to Costco, and normally it's about $150, so that's out of my price range for tequila at this point in my life. I'm not really doing tequilas that expensive, but this was down, I think marked down to 90 or 100 even. And since I liked the first one so much, I bought this one. And I remember the initial thoughts were I was not very impressed with it compared to the Blanco. Now it has been sitting there for over a year, and we're going to revisit it. So let's jump into the tasting. Now this is a very premium tequila. There's some videos on YouTube that you can watch where they cut down specific wood, I think from France or from Japan. I can't remember. You got to watch the video, but it's like a specific wood to make the oak barrels. And then the tequila is processed in a certain way and goes into the oak barrels. And they're collaborating with multiple different people to create this super high-end experience. And I think it's going to be good. But you guys love tequila. Tequila's, all those videos do really, really well. Tequila is now the number one spirit in the United States. I think it surpassed whiskey recently. So tequila's booming. Margaritas, palomas, ranch water. Those are all great drinks. But let's see how this is without anything. Initially I'm getting that oak, the wood smell. Now I'm going to say this smells a lot more alcoholic than it did when I was drinking spirits more regularly. I saw some of the comments were saying, how could you find tasting notes in liquor? They're like, oh, it just tastes like rubbing alcohol. And I was laughing at that comment because it's kind of true at first. So if you take a sip of something and you get that alcohol, your taste buds start to adjust to that. So you take a second sip, small sip, and it's a little less alcoholic. And after about 4 or 5 sips, the alcohol is kind of diminished, and you're left with some flavor profiles and some notes and some interesting aromas. It's really tough to kind of pull those out when you have nothing to compare it to. So if you've never tried something like this and you do like tequila or whiskey, put 2 or 3 side by side. Maybe a cheap one, maybe a middle tier one. Maybe you can buy a mini of a kind of more expensive one or a rare tequila and just have them side by side. And I guarantee you, after 15 minutes, you will definitely be able to see some differences. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to pick out notes right away, but you will be able to get past the ethanol, alcohol, smell, and taste, and you will be able to pull out flavor notes. So let's dive into this again. I mean, there's a wood, there's a cinnamon element to it. There's a really powerful agave note, but it's not as grassy as some of our other agaves. I'd say it's more vanilla. Let's give it a taste. The vanilla, the viscosity of it, it is there like the Blanco, but it's a little lighter, I think, than the Blanco. I mean, my mouth is just exploding with wood and vanilla and oak. And there's, that little bit of that agave, that vanilla, like a syrupy taste. It's a hint of that grass, that herbaceousness. It's very balanced. I still am not 100% thrilled by this tequila. I mean, for the price point, I know I got it almost half off. So at $100, I still think that's a little overpriced for this tequila. At $150 or $160, I think that's very overpriced for this tequila. I think the Blanco is really good. It's priced, I think, at $60. And I think that's probably your best buy on this brand. But I mean, this is super, elevated. It's premium. It's got the notes of wood in this are so subtle and elegant, and it's like an herbal wood oak note that I've never tasted on any tequila. So it is unique in that way. And I feel that some people who are really into tequila might really find some interesting stuff with this. They might disagree with me and say it is worth the money, just for the handcrafted, handmade qualities that are in this, where they're crafting the wood, they're crafting everything by hand. It's, probably hundreds of people touch this bottle before it gets to the store, and that's why it's over $100 versus your lower level Jose Cuervo, which is machine pressed, machine made, machine bottled. Not a lot of people touch that, and it tastes like it. It tastes, very manufactured. This does not taste manufactured, but I think the biggest thing I'm missing is like a delicious factor. I get even a hint of a licorice, black licorice. It's kind of got this acquired taste like absinthe or black licorice. I mean, these are things that I've had dozens of times and I still don't enjoy them. But some people, they really like that flavor. They really like that note, that herbaceous floral note that can be, leaning towards licorice. That's what I'm getting here. I'm getting a lot of complex notes that are really interesting, but I'm not excited about the delicious factor. I think this is something that if I got it served at a restaurant, I'd be like, wow, this is pretty good. I'm impressed with it. But if they said, you want another one? I'd say, no, I'm going to have Don Julio, or I'll have a beer. I think this is like kind of a one and done, because it's not begging me to come back for another glass of this. Herbal, the grassy notes are there. Vanilla, it's got a little more viscosity, like a syrupiness, hints of licorice. I mean, this is very interesting for a tequila. I wonder if you had somebody who wasn't super into tequila, if you blind tasted this, if they would even know it's tequila. See, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here, is it's very different, very unique, very expensive. And so I'm probably going to pass on this tequila. I probably wouldn't buy another bottle. But again, the Blanco, I think, is a great deal at $60. You're going to get that complexity. You get that tequila elements, the essence of it. It's just kind of an elevated, a little bit different tequila. And at the price point, I think that's interesting. But at $159, I think there's a lot better stuff you can buy. My rating on this, I'm I'm going to probably come in at like a 7.2 out of 10. I think there's some people might love this. Some people might say this is my favorite tequila. I think a lot of you are going to drink this and be like, it's $160 and it's great. And it's got to be, because it's $160. I'm not as sold on it. I mean, there's a lot of tequilas for $50, $60 that are just way more delicious than this. And I would go back to again, where this again, I've had this for 2 years. The bottle's half empty. So a good tequila, I probably would have finished it by now. So that's my review. Again, I'm going to try and keep up with, try and do one a week, at least one every other week on these videos. I know there's subscribers out there. I saw the views going up. People do want to see more reviews. I know you guys love tequila, so I wanted to bring back another episode with a high quality premium tequila. As we learned today, price doesn't always equal great flavor. It can, but not always. And I hope this review helps, and I hope to see you back here next week. And for the 50 plus subscribers, I'm doing it for you guys. And I hope we can learn and discover some cool spirits together. Until next time, guys, enjoy your week.